she's taking the house, and I don't think I'm only going to see the kids. Maybe about at the time. Welcome to Guns N' Roses presents. Wait, no, wrong way round. Fuck. Fuck. Oh god, this is bad. Oh shit.
Oh god.
Sorry, Strutter 75. The welcome to KissKast presents Guns N' Roses, the farewell to Guns N' Roses this week, because we've done it. We've gone through every single one of their studio albums from Appetite right up until Chinese Democracy, and that is it. That is it. We've ranked them, and just to give you a bit of a reminder of how we've ranked these albums, it's not a long list. At number 6, the worst, at the bottom, it is GNR Lies, the follow-up to Appetite for Destruction, the EP. That's not a very good album. Next, it is the epic Use Your Illusions 1. Not very good either. At number 4, it is Use Your Illusions 2. Not very good either, but marginally better than Use Your Illusions 1. At number 3 is the covers album, The Spaghetti Incident, the last artistic gasp of the original lineup, original-ish, minus Steven, of the Use Your Illusions era. And number 1, wait, no, sorry, shit. Number 2 is the legendary spectacle Chinese Democracy. And at number 1, you'll all be surprised to find out that number 1, we have in fact put Appetite for Destruction. And that's it. This is objectively now officially the ranking of Guns N' Roses albums from worst to best. Objectively, we've fixed it, we've solved it. The debate no longer needs to be had, unless, of course, either one of you guys think that, perhaps maybe GNR Lies ain't so bad after all. Number 2, what do you think? That's solid.
I think we should listen to Use Your Illusions 1 and 2 one more time,
All
just
right,
to be
certain. there's more episodes
time,
coming.
everyone.
We're going to re-listen to all of them and be like, you know what? Estranged ain't so bad. Dead Horse ain't so bad. Maybe we were wrong about them. But this is it. Locked in. Send it off. We'll send it to the Guns N' Roses office, and so to put their minds at rest as well. But we're not here to talk about any of those albums or an album at all, because this is the farewell. We've gone through it all, and what we're going to do is we're going to talk about the aftermath, everything post Chinese Democracy coming out, and then we're going to say a farewell to Axl, a little Appetite for Decomposition, a little segment where we talk about his highs, his lows, what we think about him, an appraisal of the crazy guy's work, and then we are going to give a ranking of our favorite Guns N' Roses songs, a top 10 best Guns N' Roses songs, and then we are going to deliver our verdict on what we think is the worst Guns N' Roses song, which I don't think is going to surprise many people what it is. We have not conferred about this, by the way. And then we're going to rate Guns N' Roses as a whole, what we think of them, what we think their highs and lows are, and what their lasting impact and legacy sort of is. But first things first, let's get into the aftermath. So Chinese Democracy gets released and bamboozles pretty much everyone. And whilst we're here, would you like to know what the other members of Guns N' Roses, past members of Guns N' Roses, actually thought of Chinese Democracy? Because I have that information quite readily available.
Yes. I'm trying to guess what it
what
do
you have any? Do you want to hazard a guess at maybe who was into it and who was not so into it?
I imagine in general it's sort of polite but not positive. Do you know what I mean? Like, his
well, they're like, good on
thing.
him. Yeah, he's doing his thing, and you know what, we respect it from. You're not far off. Well, first one we got is Slash. What do you think Slash's verdict on the record was?
I think supportive.
I imagine he said something not very interesting.
Oh, Yeah, you're not wrong. He said, it's good to hear Axl's voice again. And he described Chinese Democracy as a bold artistic statement from Rose, emphasizing how it diverged sharply from the classic Guns N' Roses sound, something he felt the original lineup could have never have produced. Later, Slash said that the album matched his expectations, pointing to its heavy use of synthesizers and digital production. After rejoining the band in 2016, sorry to give that away, he also acknowledged the impressive guitar work on the album, particularly by Buckethead, calling the musicians involved fucking amazing. Yeah, probably because he couldn't play anything that any of those guitar players were playing. I don't know how they pull it off live. I'd love to know. Because there's no way that his style could even come. Moving on. So, Izzy Stradlin had a positive reaction as well, saying he likes the songs he'd listened to. Duff McKagan applauded Rose's vocal performance and described the record as a realization of Rose's creative vision. Matt Sorum admitted he was pleasantly surprised by the title track, referring to the overall album as a toe tapper. Similarly, Gilby Clarke felt Rose made the right artistic choices, stating he hit the nail on the head with the album's direction. I think Danny's just wondering who half of these people are.
Yeah.
I you got a fucking clue any of these people are, do you? I might as well just be make them up. I could just make them up. We should have done that. I should have done that. Actually. I could have said, got his made up members, made up members. I'd be like, oh, Jimmy Staines. So you thought the album was a bit overproduced, a little hot on the mastering, and you would have gone, really? Because you're a fucking idiot. Not everyone shared the enthusiasm for the album. Would you like to know who was a bit more critical of the record? If you had to guess which member was a little bit more critical. Alex, what do you think?
I'm guessing the drummer, who was now just came my
That's
mind.
not very helpful, is it? Which drummer? We've already had one drummer. There's been about
Adler,
8.
Alex.
Thank you, Danny. You know what, Danny? You've impressed me with that. You've gone up in my estimation a little bit there. Well done, Fred. I misjudged you there. Well done.
I don't know who did not like the album.
Well,
who's our guy from last week?
Ferreira. It could be Josh Freese. It could be Steven Adler. It could be
who was what was it? Big Guns. What was his name?
Big Guns. Tracy Guns. He's not drummer, I don't think.
No.
You mean Paul Huge Tobias? No, he was the guitarist. He was the guitarist, I think. I'm not quite sure what he did. I don't think we really established
what did he think of the album, though?
Paul Huge Tobias. I don't know. Let me Google.
I've got a quote from Paul Huge Tobias. He said,
give it.
Oh, it's a jolly good album. That's what he said. I've got the quote right here.
It sounds wonderful. He's so big. Well, okay. So it was actually Steven Adler who was critical of the album. Would you like to know what Steven Adler said?
Oh, come on, Steve.
I'd like to know.
I mean, you could say no. Sounded like you both were like no. We wanted to say no. It's going to be just fucking me.
I said I'd like to. I want to know what Steven Adler said.
You know what? I'm not going to tell you. You Google it yourself. Okay.
All right, I will. What does...
All right. Look, I'm sorry. He said that he...
Adler.
Yeah, Google it. You can Google it.
Democracy. Let's see. Oh.
No,
criticized Axl Rose for releasing Chinese Democracy under the GNR name.
Yeah. Did he also called it?
Okay. Wait. Quote, I think Axl should have called it WAR instead of Guns N' Roses. What is that?
I haven't got that. Why? WAR. William Axl
like all
Rose.
in capitals.
Oh, right. So really, that's not really a criticism. What he was more doing there was kind of giving more of a suggestion. He was like, you know what would have been more clever? Instead of calling it GNR, you should have called it WAR. Because it's war, but it's also your initials, isn't it? William Axl Rose. That's interesting, isn't it?
Oh,
It's
I
not
see.
great. It's a shit idea. It's a shit idea. One, because there's already a band called War. You fucking moron. There's already a band called War. Why Can't We Be Friends was by War. That's a huge song. Lowrider was by War. These aren't small songs. Like, War were a big band. It's dumb.
It's okay. You can call it Guns, William Axl Rose, and then it's Guar.
Rose.
Just released it under Guar.
On April the 6th, 2009, Axl Rose broke a 9-year silence by giving an interview to Billboard's Jonathan Cohen. During the conversation, Axl Rose firmly shut down the possibility of reuniting with Slash. That's sad, isn't it? He said it's pretty simple. One of us will die before a reunion happens. As sad, messy, or disappointing as that might be to some, that's just the reality. Those choices were made long ago and have been reinforced every year by one person. I assume that is referring to Slash. However, he expressed more of an open attitude towards collaborating with Izzy Stradlin and Duff McKagan because they had filled in every once in a while. He seems to have a better relationship with those two. Now, Guns N' Roses headlined the Friday slot at the 2010 Reading Festival and later closed out Leeds Festival. It's kind of a weird one. They played on 2 separate days because normally the lineup for Leeds and Reading is like whoever plays the Friday also plays the Friday at Leeds. So they have like a set day for both days. But Guns N' Roses had a kind of a weird one where they played the Friday slot at Reading and then played the Sunday slot at Leeds. It was a bit strange. Now, you might not remember this, but quite a lot of folks in our year at school went to Leeds that year. I'm not sure if either of you remember.
Yeah, I remember.
What do I remember about that? I didn't go. I was not popular enough. Danny, you were probably too busy on new grounds. Alex probably on call. I discovered masturbation, which set me free.
Yeah, I discovered Flash animations that year.
Exactly. Yeah, wanking forever. All good. I might go for one right now.
Okay. No, Alexei, come on, man.
No, we have a podcast. No. We agreed we would wait till after it was finished. Anyway, everyone that was in our year, or the cool kids, that wouldn't have appreciated the metal of Guns N' Roses, did go. Those that I knew that did go in our year unanimously said that Guns N' Roses were terrible. Absolutely terrible. In fact, every single one. In fact, one person who we all know, I saw in the pub about a month ago. I think even a bit less than that. And Guns N' Roses came up in discussion. I think we were talking about back to the beginning, the Sabbath gig. And 15 years after the fact, this person who I saw in the pub, who saw them at Leeds and Reading, doubled down and said they were the worst band he had ever seen in his life. Still to this day, 15 years on, still the worst band he had ever seen. Their Reading performance, and that was at Leeds. And that was bad. So, like, their Reading performance was also marred with delays, with the band taking to the stage 58 minutes late. Due to a strict midnight curfew enforced by Reading Council, their set was cut short, with Axl Rose addressing the crowd Axl Rose addressed the crowd's disappointment by shifting blame onto the organisers for enforcing a curfew. The band's ongoing issues with punctuality continued. At a show in Dublin on September 1st, 2010, they arrived over an hour late behind schedule. Tensions escalated when audience members began throwing bottles on the stage. Axl halted the second song, which was Welcome to the Jungle, to warn the crowd, but after another bottle was thrown during the fourth track, the band walked off. They returned about an hour later to complete the concert.
Wow.
So he's and I talked about this a bit last time. He's become a bit almost like, and I'm not sure if this is the right term. Right? Maybe I'm showing my age. Is it a lol cow? Do you call it a lol cow? do you know what I'm talking about? He's sort of become the metal version of Chris Chan, right? Where people will literally show up to like rage bait him at this point. Do you think that's fair?
Right, yeah.
I know what you mean, but I don't know. Are people? Maybe they were or are like are people like?
But I feel if you had to like rank
what
people wanted, I think people would have wanted an awesome Guns N' Roses show first. You know what I mean? Like,
well, yeah. I mean, they've paid money to go. I mean, it might be one of those where it's actually like it's got the extra added benefit of like, okay, we'll give him an hour.
Yeah.
Okay, he hasn't showed up yet. Let's just rage bait him because at least we've got.
Yeah, I can see that.
Because if you watch him, he is like there's footage of him, from like the 80s, like, you know, the 90s, and he'll get like interpreters. I'll be like, get the interpreter on stage, you know, if they're playing like Argentina or something like that.
I've seen
that. If you keep throwing things, I can't sing, and I will go home. So there is probably the extra added benefit of like, right, we're giving him the hour. He's not turned up. Okay, let's just start fucking lobbing shit at the stage, because then at least it'll be funny. When he comes like, stop that! I swear to you, I will leave. But to be honest with you, though, a lot of this, it's not even really that interesting anymore, though, is it? These sort of gig shenanigans. There's so many of them. It's just not even that interesting anymore. I could go on for the next, like, fucking 5 years of this shit continuing to happen. It's really tired at this point, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
And it's not very happy.
No, it's not. It's sad. It's a sad thing that it would.
It's also. I just want to say, like, you know, reflecting on like what our friends were saying about the Guns N' Roses gig, like, surely even if Axl's not up for it, you could still have a good gig of just like the band playing the music, or like an Axl half singing and then the crowd singing along. Like, they have enough popular songs that I feel like just having the backing band go out there and sort of the crowd sort of take it would make it a sort of decent show, or like a fun time. So the
it's
idea
that
they can take that, you know, pretty classic discography of songs and then just make it shit. That's like actually quite incredible, you know?
It is. I know. I agree. You could play a lot of those songs off a fucking PA and it would still probably go off. Do you know what I mean? Like some drinks, a PA, and it would still go off. No, and it's amazing how much they still just managed to fuck it up. You don't have to do much, mate. You really don't. But it wasn't all doom and gloom, because Guns N' Roses were inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. We're back. Not this again.
Oh,
not this again. We're gonna be. You know, we're gonna be.
Man, I wanted to say, if this is the second one I've ever seen. I just hate it. I hate the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I don't like it, man.
It fucking sucks. It's like they're worse than you know, it's worse than graduations, right? Have you ever sat and been a spectator at a graduation? It's worse than a graduation.
Yeah.
You just sat there going, yeah, great, yeah, good for you. That's like we're gonna be returning to this fucking ceremony time and time again as well, because we might be doing Van Halen, and they're in. Again and again and again. You know, I was thinking we could do a ranking of Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductions. We could rank them. We could start doing that.
Okay, and so far, Kiss is at the top.
Oh, you think that's... wait, in what you judge... What? It depends where you're judging it. What's the metric? Because I would say musical performance, Kiss lose. They don't play anything. And speeches, oh god, Kiss lose big time. But if you're judging it on kind of testy and entertaining, maybe Kiss have the edge.
I'm just judging on how bored I was. I was so bored. I've had a busy day, and this afternoon I made some time to watch Guns N' Roses Rock and Roll Hall of Fame during my break, and I was just so bored, man. It's so fucking boring.
Maybe, actually, the Rock and Roll the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame's goal is to bore, right? So if their goal is to bore, the more boring it is, the higher up it goes, right? So maybe Guns do have the edge.
Maybe.
So, the more boring it is, possibly the better, right? So, fans, obviously, had hope in their hearts that the band would put their differences aside and get back together. Obviously, that wasn't going to happen, not in this year. The CEO of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame said that all the members of Guns N' Roses had RSVP'd to the event, but this was met by some outrage, by Slash of all people, who said, I've never RSVP'd, or something like that. Stephen Adler, who was also to be inducted, said, Slash is my brother, he's up for it, he wants to do it, I want to do it, and just from what I hear, Izzy's not going to show up, and Axl will probably want to play with his hack band, his band full of hacks. It shouldn't even be Guns N' Roses. He's driving the freaking name into the he's still on it. He's still on it into the freaking crowd. Axl and his hacks. They should call it Axl Rose. Why didn't he call it War? WAR. Those hacks. Stephen Adler did apologize, however, closer to the ceremony. Perhaps he wasn't having a great day that day. So it did seem to off-road pretty quickly, that quote. It sort of seemed from going, Axl's, Izzy's not going to go, Slash is going to go, but Axl, he'd rather play with his band of hacks and the fucking... Those saps! Losers! Yeah, it did off-road pretty quickly, that. He might have just been having a bad day. So everything is up in the air. No one really has any idea what members are going to show up, whether they will play. However, Slash had doubled down closer to the event, stating that no one would play. No one is going to play. And then, the day before the event, it was confirmed that Axl Rose would not attend. Would you like to know what he said?
I saw what he said, and seemed quite agreeable.
Oh, take it away. What did he say?
Basically, kind of what we said about when Kiss got in, right? Where it's like, not sure what the purpose is, not sure how they choose the acts, and like how it's funded. Right?
Yeah, something like that. He said, I strongly request that I not be inducted in abstainia, and please know that no one is authorized, nor may anyone be permitted to accept any induction for me or speak on my behalf. Neither former members, label representatives, nor the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame should imply, whether directly or indirectly or by omission, that I am inducted in any purported induction of Guns N' Roses. A lot of words there. A lot of big-ass words there. But basically what he was saying was that not only did he not want to attend, he didn't even want to be inducted. So he refused to be inducted. He also said, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame doesn't seem to be a place I am wanted or respected. Where are you wanted or respected? Where? Where at this point? Like, where are you wanted and respected? Live with Jimmy Kimmel, that's where you're wanted and respected.
I was just going to say, yeah.
As we'll see, he was greeted like fucking Jesus. Like,
yes.
So, in the end, Slash, Steven, Matt Sorum, and Duff all attended. At the ceremony, the crowd booed Axl Rose's name when it was brought up by Billy Joe Armstrong of the band Green Day. Alex, perhaps you could play a little bit of Jesus of Suburbia, fade it into a bit of Wake Me Up When September Ends, and close off that puppy with What's Her Name?
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
That's a good idea. If you write all that down, actually change What's Her Name. We need to, they're all off American Idiot, those songs.
Okay, Danny, any requests?
No, stop.
Yeah,
no. When I come around. No, that is also off American Idiot. That's a good one. So he said,
Sorry, why were they inducting Guns N' Roses? Do you know?
Why does anyone induct Guns N' Roses? Because they're fans, Alex. They're big fans. As Billy S. Joe Armstrong said, he said, "Appetite for Destruction is the greatest debut record of all time." You know, it's there. You just need to pay attention, mate.
Okay, but there's no personal connection between the two. Just to be clear.
No, I don't think so. I mean, I don't hear much Guns N' Roses in their sound. That's it.
Yeah. It just seemed like an odd.
I thought it was a bit odd. Yeah, I thought it was a bit odd. It is also reported that apparently there were people in the audience yelling "fuck Axl." He's fucking out. Afterwards, Rose released another statement saying that he did not understand the purpose of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, how it was funded, or how the acts were chosen. So, Alex, you were right. He sort of said, like, well, I don't care because it's bullshit anyway. And he's not wrong. But I've seen an interview with Matt Sorum where he said Axl did decide right at the last minute to attend after saying he would not attend. So he did decide at the last minute that he was going to turn up, but then it all went fucking mental with the lawyers because the other members who were being inducted did not own the name Guns N' Roses, but they were going up there as Guns N' Roses. So had Axl showed up, it would have kind of fucked everything up. However, he again changed his mind because I think he pretty much just didn't want the hassle of it. So I don't know if any of that's true. But it does seem in very Axl fashion to want to turn up at the last minute. So, you've watched it. What do you think? The thumbnail is very good. The thumbnail is Matt Sorum's giant head looming over. What do we make of this? Alex, what do you think?
Compared to the Kiss one, it like Danny said, it is very boring. And
Very
no
dull.
one really has much to say. The band members themselves seem like somewhat nice people, a little bit like cringy, a little bit sort of, they're kind of old dads now. I definitely get that vibe from them. But I had no issues with much of what they were saying. Would you guys rather have a kind of very bland Billy Joe Armstrong induct you, or a defensive Tom Morello? Which one would you?
Which is worse?
I don't know.
Probably bland.
Bland. I'd
If it
go
was
bland.
me, I'd want bland.
Yeah, I'd go bland. I'd go bland.
Yeah.
A couple of things stuck. I mean,
Tom Morello
why-
made Kiss look worse.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
He did.
Yeah.
There's a part when Billy Joe Armstrong starts to make fun of Dizzy Reed, the touring keyboard player, who's with them for a long time. He goes like, "Dizzy Reed, you play a mean
That was
keyboard."
really mean, that bit.
It was really mean, but at the same time, I was like, actually, the worst thing about their music, it was the addition of piano and keyboard. So actually, yeah, fuck that guy.
Good point.
Fuck that guy. I'm actually on board with Billy Joe Armstrong. At first, I was like, what the fuck, man? He was with them for like ages, and he's still with them like now. Like, and then I was just like, actually, you know what? Yeah, he can fucking do one. Why do old rock stars dress like that?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Why?
I know what I mean. I don't get it either.
It's the black when it's always like flowers that have been like, you know, like not sewn on. I'm trying to think that they're made out of like beads or something. Like they're embroidered. It'll be like a black, you know, like a velvet jacket, like embroidered. I hate it. It looks terrible. It looks awful. The other thing that stuck out is why the fuck does Matt Sorum go last? What the fuck is that about? Like, now finally, the one you've all been waiting for. Like, it makes sense for Paul to go last with Kiss, right? That makes sense because he is like, you know, he's the one with the mouth, right? And you'd think Slash, definitely, but I was like, oh, here he comes, Matt. So whose idea was that?
I think they just forgot. Or they didn't think he was going to talk.
And no one was that like gassed. There's a bit where as well Another thing I pointed out and I noticed was there's a bit where Billy Joe Armstrong refers to Izzy Stradlin as having that sort of a Ronnie Wood rhythm guitar sort of mojo, something like that. And then it cuts to Ronnie Wood in the audience. He was also being inducted, and he rubs his hands together, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I agree with that." And I thought that was quite nice. He certainly does. But other than that,
I thought that in a way, Steven Adler came across the best in a way. He was like, he's not nearly as charming as, but he was the ace of the band, I felt, while accepting.
Yeah.
He sort of seemed very like, oh, this is great.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
guys.
A little,
like, I can't
yeah, a
believe
little bit
I'm
away
here.
with fairies. But
Yeah. Let out for the day, sort of thing.
yeah.
Yeah, you know what? There's a bit where Billy Joe Armstrong actually, you know what he says about Steven Adler when he goes, "Your drumming on Appetite was perfect." He does it in a really smug, shitty way that I don't like, but he is right. I'll give him that. I'd say that his drumming on
right.
Appetite is really, really fucking good. So I was like, you're right about that. So the performance. What do we reckon?
Oh,
I thought it was
not good.
okay. I thought it was okay. I think it was quite sweet. I thought it was
okay,
really.
yeah, I guess
I thought it was.
okay.
I thought it was really
Danny.
sweet that I thought it was really sweet that Duff kept going to Steven Adler to check that he was kind of okay. That's what it seemed like, and I thought that was really quite sweet because I don't think he would have played as much, and but he still seemed to have it. I mean, the fill into the fill in Paradise City, the big one, the
There was
when it
some
goes-
problems in Paradise City.
Yeah.
Yeah. You could tell there was an issue there, and he'd simplified that a little bit. But I thought it was okay. I don't think Miles Kennedy just works.
I thought it was
as,
alright.
as an entity.
But who do you get,
I
though?
just don't think he works.
If someone has to fill in the place of Axl, who do you get?
Yeah.
You get.
He can hit the notes anyway, even though his voice is so different to Axl's.
Yeah.
At least he can hit the notes.
Yeah, that's true. That is true, actually.
Um,
He can. It just hasn't got. You know what the problem is? It hasn't got the rasp. It hasn't got the special. It hasn't got the soul. It just sounds like. I'm trying to figure the best way to describe it. I don't know. Almost like musical theatery. I wish I had the vocabulary to describe it. It's just very, very soulless. Like he's hitting it. He sings. You know what I mean? It's all there. It's just nothing. There's just nothing to it.
It's very clean. Yeah.
Yeah. It's weird. Anything else? You got anything else on the performances? Can we move on?
Yeah, I want to say one thing.
Slash was so loud.
He was very
That's
loud.
all I
He
have
was
to say.
very loud.
Slash's
yeah.
guitar was so loud and a bit out. I don't know if his tone was creating some weird harmonic or it was a little actually out of tune. Something was off about that guitar. Especially like the Sweet Child of Mine riff. It really didn't sound good, I thought.
You know something else as well. For this celebration, for this celebration of like rock and roll and the history of it, inducting it, all the live performances sound like fucking shit. All of them sound like fucking shit.
yeah.
You watch
The
any
mixing
of them, they
is
sound
so
like
bad on
wank.
it, man.
They sound fucking rubbish, and you're like, this is a celebration of music. And I'm like, none of it sounds good. Point to one which sounds good. The Aussie one. The Aussie one, when they did Crazy Train with James Maynard Keenan, sounded fucking ridiculously bad. Fucking awful. Sorry. I think you were going to say something
They're
else.
playing live. Yeah, go on, Alex.
Oh no. It's just, I guess it kind of relates to, how do you replace Axl sort of thing. But I know that like for a lot of shows like this and award shows like the Grammys is what they ideally want to do is create like a unique performance. And so what they will do is like, oh, we've got these famous people here. So they'll do like a medley together or they'll like, switching out. So, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame have done this really well once, of the few videos I've seen. But like who were they inducting, Danny? Was it George Harrison where they did the While My Guitar
sorry.
Gently Weeps?
I take it back. That is amazing. That is amazing. I'll take it back.
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
George
yeah.
Harrison, Prince doing the guitar solo.
Yeah.
Sorry, I take it back.
That's the
That
Rock
is
and Roll
only
Hall
one.
of Fame.
Yes,
I
it
thought that was
it
like
is, yeah.
Concert for George or something.
Sorry,
Oh,
I
shit.
take it back. That is really, really good. But also, actually, you know what?
That is really good.
How many times though do you watch that and just skip it to the solo?
every
I don't
time.
give a fuck about
Every
every time. I don't give a fuck about Jeff Lynne. I don't give a fuck about John Petty. I don't give a fuck about whoever else is there. Eric Clapton might be there. I don't know.
Danny Harrison.
Who the fuck is Danny? Oh, is that his son? That's his son. Yeah. Look. Yeah.
Yeah, he's there on like a rhythm guitar in the back. I think.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Very
You just
sweet.
go for Prince, right? You just go for Prince, don't you?
Yeah.
But I think, even though, yes, you're absolutely right, I think that idea, that approach is a fun one. And I think they could have done it with Guns N' Roses. And perhaps they could have had the backing band, the band members all play stuff. And then, like, different singers would come on to fill in for Axl. You know what I mean? Where they would have
I agree,
like,
man.
I think that would have been a fun approach to it.
Yeah.
And
I think 100%. Just
They
the
did that with
people
Nirvana.
being inducted shouldn't play. Just get a bunch of other people to do like a celebrity one-off performance. I would be way more into that.
Yeah, they did that. They did that like the Kennedy Center. They did it for like Zeppelin. I think Heart came out and did a version of Stairway to Heaven, which was actually really good. Yeah.
But then,
I
because then
agree.
the reason why I think that, because like then it doesn't feel like, oh, we're just replacing Axl, like, oh, we just got a stand-in for him. It's more like, oh, it's like a feature, like, yeah, he's not here, but like we all know his songs and we can all sing along to it, sort of thing. Like it makes it seem more of like a positive. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, I know.
Enough
Otherwise,
about
all you
Rock and Roll Hall
left.
of Fame.
I know. Otherwise, all you're left with is just looking at them and going, "Wow, they're old." That's just that's all you're stuck with. Right. Moving on from that thing that happened. Oh, sorry. We didn't even. Sorry, I don't know if it's worth mentioning. Matt saw him with a tambourine. I'm just gonna say Matt saw him. Matt saw him with the tambourine, and that can speak for itself. That just speaks for itself.
Are you so mean to Matt Sorum?
Whose fucking idea was that? Fucking hell. Use two drummers. Chili Peppers did it. They used two drummers. Anyway. On October the 25th, 2012, Axl Rose did his first live television interview in 20 years on Jimmy Kimmel Live. I found this on YouTube. There's also another version. There's another version on YouTube that has more views than the one I sent you, which is much lower resolution and incorrectly credits the interview to Jimmy Fallon, not Jimmy Kimmel. Anyway, so
we're all about correctly sourcing our
Yeah,
I'm not
it's
clicking
important
that.
to us.
It's important, yeah. Now, I don't use this word very often, and I hate using this word. I haven't really used it as a way of describing something since I was in school. But I can't frame it any other way. This interview is AIDS. This interview is full-blown fucking AIDS.
Alexei.
It's full-blown fucking AIDS, this interview. Fucking shit, right? It's like they're in the court of like a fucking Caligula or a fucking they're worried he's gonna fucking kill them. It's really awkward applauses every time he fucking says anything. Like they're worried they'll upset him. Don't make him mad. Like fucking Henry VIII. Fucking stupid.
Not a good
Right.
interview.
It's not fucking rubbish. He brings a
But
fucking burger van
He
with
got a
him.
food
What the
truck
hell is
for
that?
everyone. He got burgers for everyone.
Look under your seats. There's a free coupon to a burger van. Bumblefoot's gonna be doing the burgers. With brain
the way he
huge
says-
suppliers.
The way he says the free ticket to his gig is because he first, the way he says it is like everybody's getting a ticket to his show.
Yeah.
And then he says after is
I
like
thought
two
that.
people. And then you can hear the disappointment in the crowd.
Yeah.
A burger van. What a fucking loser. But fucking loser. Fucking loser. What I was gonna say. That would be hilarious if you got the members of Guns N' Roses actually working the burger van and just like being completely overwhelmed with orders, like, and then except for poor Huge Tobias. Poor Huge Tobias would be too busy eating the burgers. What the fuck? Halloween tree? Like, what the fuck is any of these anecdotes? Are just shocking. Shocking.
It's so
shocking. Do you like to dress up for Halloween? Yeah, one year I dressed up as corn. What? Because in Guns N' Roses, whoever's getting told off, they're the corn. So this year, I was the corn. What are you talking about?
Double corn.
Fucking loser. Right, you guys.
It's so disappointing, man. Because like, there's this thing where usually, like, very huge personality, like kind of problematic musicians, or like, I don't know, like huge egos, right? I'm thinking like Prince. I'm thinking Kanye West. Others, right?
Yes.
Like,
He's
usually,
in that
whatever you think about their music or their whatever the politics, you know, like, they're usually a fun interview because they say weird shit and like their ego is all over the place. And Axl Rose fits the ego and all the parts of like a maniac, you know, but he seems like an unbelievably boring guy.
He seems like an incredibly dull man. There's this awkward bit where he's like, I used to work at Tower Records, and I was a manager, and I used to let everyone have beers after work. And there's just this like little laugh, and then this really long silence, and then everyone just starts applauding. I'm like, what are you clapping? I don't get it.
Yeah.
What's he said? What are you worried he's gonna do? Like, it's like you know, it's that episode of The Twilight Zone where there's a little kid that lives in a village or something like that, and then he can do anything, and everyone's scared of him because they're worried he's gonna like fucking blow them up with his mind. It's like that. There's also this oh shit, what was it now? There was something that really caught. There was a bit, you know, have you ever there's a film called Bug, right? Have you guys ever seen Bug? The film Bug.
No.
It's got Michael
I've
Shannon
seen Bug.
in it. Yeah, so there's a bit where because I was a bit taken aback by how he looked, right? Because I was like, oh fucking hell! Like, there's a bit where in Bug where Michael Shannon is like covered in blood, and because he's had like a mental breakdown, and he comes out of this bathroom and he's just like covered in blood, and then his old like platoon leader from when he was in the army is like, good God, Jeffrey, what happened to you? Like that. I had a very similar reaction when he came out. When Axl came out, I was just like, fucking hell, what happened to you, man? You guys got anything else?
No.
I think even the best interviewer would have struggled.
We are pulling teeth. It was pulling teeth. I will tell you a little funny story. Alex, you'll probably edit this out, but I made a film many, many years ago called Cabbaged. I've actually seen this. I actually saw this interview around the time it came out. Not quite sure how or why, but I saw this when it came out, and I made a short film. And in the short film, there's a part where the camera goes into the brain of one of the characters in it, and inside the brain there's this fetus that starts talking, and the fetus says something, and what they said in it was, I thought it'd be a neat little idea to bring a burger van for the cast and crew, like that, but I just like put it backwards or something. And that was from this. That's from this interview.
I always wondered what the baby was saying.
No, what happened was because it didn't work with him saying the whole thing, so I just ended up just chopping it down to, I thought it'd be a neat little idea, and then I didn't get to the burger van bit. Anyway, let's move on from that. It's fucking rubbish, terrible. So the band kept touring. Axl sort of turning into this Lauryn Hill kind of figure at this point. You know what I mean? Like, either doing shows and crushing it, or like turning up to shows and being like a complete disaster, sort of like a Shane McGowan, or one of those. Not knowing what you're gonna get. They also did one gig where Bumblefoot tried to play a solo with a Stormtrooper helmet on and completely fucked it up. I recommend you go watch it. It's very bad. In 2000, it's really bad. In 2014, the band did in 2014, the band did a South American tour, which sadly, bassist Tommy Stinston could not attend as he was on tour with the Replacements, who are a great band, by the way. Who filled in on bass instead of Tommy Stinson? Who do you think it was?
Filled in on bass.
Yeah.
Les Claypool.
Slash?
No.
It was Flea of the Red Hot Chili Peppers. What I gotta get to give it to your mama.
It wasn't. It was actually Duff McKagan came back and played for a few shows. And this wasn't unusual. Duff had done this in the past. But this was for an extended period of time, not just for one gig, which brought in speculation that perhaps there could be some form of reunion. Keep that in mind. I'll say that. I already gave it away at the beginning. Already fucking gave it away at the beginning. God damn it. Can I move on? In 2016... 2016 was a busy year for Axl. He would front AC/DC. Alex, perhaps you could put in a little bit of Thunderstruck, follow it up with, I don't know, Hell's Bells, and then roll it off into Shoot to Thrill, and then slowly faded into You Shook Me All Night Long, and then roll back to Shoot to Thrill, and then TNT. I'll just give you a second to put that in.
Two Shoot to Thrill.
So Axl would front AC/DC on two legs of the Rock or Bust tour, which drew the ire of a lot of fans. Because one, nobody likes Axl Rose. That's the first one. And two, because it was seen as throwing Brian Johnson, who was obviously the singer of AC/DC, under the bus a bit because he was having issues with his hearing. And they weren't sure whether he was actually going to come back or not. He did come back, and actually, some people think that this stint with AC/DC is kind of what mellowed Axl Rose out a little bit. I ain't got confirmation on that, but I think there was maybe something about being like working for someone else and sort of being under the tutorship of somebody else that maybe humbled him a little. But I don't know. There was another reason. There's another reason why 2016 was a big year for Axl. In 2016, Axl got his titties in a twist as a rather unflattering photo of him was doing the rounds on the internet. The photo was taken at a 2010 Winnipeg concert. Rose issued a Digital Millennium Copyright Act takedown request with Google. That read, copyright image of Axl Rose, please be advised that no permission has been granted to publish the copyrighted image, so we cannot direct you to an authorized example of it. So basically, he wanted it taken down. He was saying he wanted it taken down. I'm going to send the picture right now, if that's okay, to our messenger chat. I have it ready to go.
Picture B.
I have it ready to go. Yeah, don't worry. I got it. Okay, so that's sent. I'll let you breathe that in a little bit.
Just coming in now. Oh, look at that. Whoa.
It's not great, is it? There's no sugarcoating it. There's no sugarcoating it. He is no. It's not. Look, it's not over egging the pudding to say that this picture is not great. He looks like he's going to give everyone an anal drilling that is even within a meter of him. It's not good.
I don't think it warrants litigation. Right? It's
really not. It's really not.
It looks like he's wearing a fez.
It does look like he's wearing
the
a
ankle.
fez. He looks like a Keith Lemon character. Looks like Keith Lemon.
Yeah.
It does not look good, but it spawned. It would eventually get memed into oblivion. It would sort of become what's called the Fat Axl meme. So this meme would consist of this picture with different captions over the top of it, usually some sort of pun on a song that they have describing how fat and ugly he is, which is not very nice. For example, would you like to hear some examples? I have some written down.
Yes.
There was one that said, "Welcome to the bakery. We've got pie and cake." That's shit, that one. It's not good at all. There's one that says, "Oh, no, sweet, sweet pie of mine." That's not good either. There's one that says, "Take me down to Kentucky Fried Chicken where it tastes so good that it's finger licking." Again, not great. There's one that says, "Live and let pie." Nah, I don't like that one. Live and let pie. Live and let die is not even originally by them. Not even originally by them. That's reaching, that one. That's reaching quite hard. Again, it's the metal lolcow thing again. It's sort of metal Chris Chan. It's so depressing. He's just become a complete fucking laughingstock. And the angrier he gets, and the angrier he got, the worse the memes got. I did Google whether Axl Rose was successful, and I couldn't really get a straight answer. My assumption is that seeing as I have access to this image and was able to share this image, that it did not go so well, and he wasn't able to get it taken down. Anyway, somewhere between 2015 and 2016, guitarist DJ Ashbert, forgot to include him earlier on. He replaced some guy and was their lead guitarist for quite a while. He left the band, citing personal reasons. So did Bumblefoot, and so did Tommy Stinston, the bass player. Meaning there was room for a new lead guitar player and a bass player. Then the unthinkable happened. On April 1st, 2016, Guns officially reunited at the Troubadour. Well, it was sort of a reunion. It's with Slash and Duff. Slash and Tuff were back on board. Which, to be honest, for Guns N' Roses, for a reunion, is pretty good going. 3 out of 5 ain't bad. 3 out of 5 ain't bad for Guns N' Roses. Because nobody saw that coming. Nobody thought that was realistic. And there you go. So, good going. Slash said it was great talking to Axl again because he missed him. He said they'd built up so much animosity over the years, which had gotten worse and worse, that when they actually started talking to each other, there was sort of a weight lifted off their shoulders. So, Slash seems happy to have his friend back. And that's nice. It's worth mentioning that this Guns N' Roses reunion with Slash and Duff has been going for nearly a decade now. Like, the Kiss reunion with the original members could not stick it out that long. And Guns, who were so much more temperamental as a band, seem to have somehow made it work. Like, I mean, it could be the money. That's definitely a possibility. It could just be the money.
Probably the money.
But unlike the Kiss story, where there was loads of money on board, there was still loads of fucking money getting thrown around. So unlike that, which had a very sad sort of ending, for the original lineup, it just ended horribly. Like, fun, sorry, I'm fucking getting this. Kiss ended really badly. So contrasting that with this one has quite a positive ending, really. I mean, don't get me wrong. If Back to the Beginning is anything to go off, they sound like shit live. If that is anything to go off, they sound shit live. But it's good that bridges were built and, the olive branches were extended. That's good. And for whatever reason, like I said, maybe it's something to do with the AC/DC thing, Axl seems to have mellowed out. They're on time. They're punctual. Things have gotten well. It's surprising, don't you think, that despite everything, this reunion has actually been going on for a substantial amount of time and seems to be going pretty well. What do you think, Danny?
I think that's good. And I think it's for a lot, like we said, this sort of thing towards the end of Kiss, when they became a legacy act. A lot of it becomes, well, this is so not for me. So I think it's good for the people that means a lot to. They get to go see Guns N' Roses. I saw a bit of them on YouTube a few years ago, them playing some big festival.
They headlined Glastonbury.
I thought
a few years ago.
Oh, maybe it was that.
Yeah.
Oh shit!
Maybe that's
I
what I
didn't
saw.
include
I
that.
thought that.
I didn't include that. It's terrible. Terrible.
Yeah.
Essay. As I watched on.
Oh, maybe
TV.
it wasn't them, because I thought musically it was great. I thought the instrumentation was fine, and I just thought Axl's voice was completely gone.
It's fucked.
Same as always, really. Same as like since when I was a teenager, seeing lolcow clips of him fucking up on stage. So that's a shame. But I thought the band were all on form. They were playing the songs well.
There are
do you
videos
think,
like
Alex?
that. There are videos like that in the fucking thousands, man. In the fucking thousands. Oh, look how fat and weird looking he looks. Look how fucking weird looking he looks. Fuck off! Sorry, carry on. Alex.
Yeah, it is nice in a sense that you could you could very clearly see a path for Guns N' Roses where, you know, members might not be around today, like with their drug use and their lifestyle back in the day. And it's actually like a weird positive thing of Axl Rose is that he seems unbelievably determined. I don't know where he gets it from, but like throughout all the ups and downs, he seems to have this drive to want to keep on performing, even though there are lots of signs that maybe he should stop or it's not for him at all. So something keeps him going, and it could just be the money. Like that, we could just put that out there. But it is quite nice to see that something is pulling them together, and that, like Daniel was saying, there are people can go and see them, which
It's called
thousands
money,
and thousands of people
bitch.
would love to go see them. But I also will say, like, the clips I have seen of them performing in recent years, the Glastonbury performance, I mean, one of them where the mixing was all over the place, and I don't
They
know,
sound like shit.
it wasn't quite for me.
They've already
All that,
got.
but
They've
it
already
could have
gone
been just the
down.
wrong sort of crowd.
They've already gone down as one of the worst headliners of Glastonbury that there has ever been, and they bring Dave Grohl out as well, which is never welcome. Never welcome.
Yeah.
Never welcome.
They brought David Grohl out.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did.
What?
Yeah. And they
To skin
tarred
him.
They stripped him naked, tarred and feathered him, and gangbanged him to Paradise City. And Axl Rose went,
Shh, are we gonna gangbang this bitch?
and the whole crowd went, yeah! And they all crammed their dicks into his tiny little hole.
Slash was the.
Yeah. Anyway,
I can't believe, Alex, you said very C and we have it recorded.
next thing on the agenda is that after all of that, all those shenanigans, the band's a sort of, legacy act. Like Danny said, Danny hit it right on the head. It's so right,
think
so
I did.
true, so honest, so everything and more. That he was so right that I just had to come. He was right, and
Alexei, what are you trying to say?
I'm getting there. Sorry. I'm enjoying an angel slice as we do this. Very nice. So basically, they kept on keeping on and doing gigs that were probably not very good. But they've released a few EPs and a few singles. The one that sort of made the most waves, I guess, was, by the way, they all have done very little, these singles and stuff, like very little fanfare. A surprisingly small amount of fanfare. I think people have given up on them.
I didn't know about them.
Recording, yeah, exactly. And you think you would, like, you look at one of their peers like Metallica. I think the goodwill musically. Sorry, I can't. The goodwill musically has just completely run out. I think, I really do. But the one that made the most waves was a song called "Absurd," which I sent you both. Have you listened to it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so I'm going to tell you a little story. So years ago, I was working in a cafe called Tampa Coffee. Best full English in Sheffield. The Big Kiwi Burger.
Not to mention the Eggs Benedict.
Go there. There was a guy that worked there called Joe. It's called Joe. His name was Joe. Joe Plura was his name.
It
he
was
was
Joe.
He had four Joes in his name. Joe Plura. Joe Plura. was a very nice man. I got on with him very well. He was very funny. And he said to me, as we were cutting bread together, he said to me, have you heard the new Guns N' Roses song? Because he was a fan of theirs. And I went, they've got a new song? And he was like, because I was genuinely surprised, because very little fanfare. And he was like, and he went, yeah, it's terrible, is what he said. He was like, really? And he went, it's terrible. And then he went into giving some criticisms about it. He was like, it's sort of electronic-y tinge, but Axl's been sort of going that way for a while, you know, Chinese democracy and stuff like that. It just sounds shit. It sounds like a rock version of The Prodigy. It turns into fucking Sigur Rós in the middle of it, coming out of fucking nowhere. It's fucking terrible. Slash sounds like shit on it. And I'm going to be honest with you, I listened to it afterwards. I think all of his criticisms were 100% correct. I mean, this is just beyond terrible. It's so bad. This is so bad. I firmly believe they have no gas left in the tank if this is anything to go off, because it's pretty fucking bad. Danny, what do you think?
I think they've done worse.
You know what? When I
no.
did re-listen to it, having listened to all of it now, because I have the benefit now, which I didn't have back then, of listening to a lot of their shit.
Yeah,
You're right. It's not the worst thing. Not the worst thing. It's still pretty bad, though. I mean, it's really fucking bad.
It's not great. I don't mind all the... Like, his voice is so processed, it's quite unrecognizable. And they're doing something different to what they've done before.
That must be hard.
Yeah, some melodic variation would be nice. He just goes on that one line over and over and over.
Yeah.
While Slash is just like noodling in the background.
Oh, it sounds shit. Slash sounds terrible. You know what, as well? This is more of a Chinese democracy song, I think. And it goes to show that his guitar playing really has no synergy with that material, because it's really bluesy and classic rocky and just sticks out so badly. They needed like something chaotic or like more inventive, like a Bumblefoot or a Buckethead or even like a Tom Morello, something like that. You know what I mean? It really didn't fit.
Yeah, I was wondering if it was like a soundtrack or something. Like, it just doesn't sound like a return from a band like Guns N' Roses. You know, it doesn't sound like a big statement of a song.
It really doesn't.
It's very...
Sounds like a bonus
It's
track
really...
or a
Yeah,
joke
it's not
song.
great. I'm defending it a bit, but it's not a great song. Alex?
Yeah, I don't quite get it either. Like, it doesn't seem like a return single, but also it doesn't seem like... I guess you could sort of see it as like a B-sides of Chinese democracy. Like, you could sort of see like, oh, this is like a song we had and we just want to throw it out there. Maybe. But then like the Slash inclusion doesn't add to that. And yeah, I don't know what it's going for. I agree. I think they've done a lot worse. But yeah, I'm not sure I want this sound from Axl and the boys.
No. Moving on to some more
It's a point for Joe.
about Guns N' Roses from the years 2008 to present day. Well, actually, kind of, that's pretty much wraps it up. With that, more or less brings us up to present day. So apart from sucking at Back to the Beginning, Guns haven't really been in the spotlight. They just sort of keep on keeping on. They still do like 3-hour shows with Axl, Duff, and Slash. So what that brings us to then, now we're all finished up, is an appetite for decomposition, our segment where we discuss and appraise members that leave us on our journey through Guns N' Roses' discography. And don't worry, we're not going to do all the members from the Chinese democracy era, or we'll be here for fucking days. Like, that's just ludicrous. But we do need to say a fond farewell to Axl Rose, the one constant in all of Guns N' Roses' long and storied history. One of the most polarizing and hated men in the history of music, maybe the history of the world. Although, it's worth saying that the public perception of him has become more favourable in recent years as he's sort of mellowed out. So, Axl, what do we think? Alex, because your name sort of sounds like Axl. If he had an E in there, it would be an anagram of Axel. Or if he spelt his name AXEL instead of AXL, could be.
Well noticed. This was very difficult to
Don't
like
fucking
separate
patronize me.
Axl from the band, you know, in terms of like final thoughts and like a send off, because Axl is so much of what we have heard over the past 3 or 4 albums, right? Like so much of what we've been talking about the direction and the sound is Axl. And so it's very difficult to separate the two. I think.
Right.
Firstly,
You
before
seem like
we
you're
go
getting
into
getting a bit emotional there.
yeah, well,
Seemed like
no.
you needed to take a breather.
Well,
like you're
one thing I
crying.
want to ask you before
Cry
we
like a little
continue on
bitch.
is do you think this is do you think we've heard the last of Guns N' Roses and Axl? Do you think
Nah,
There's
they'll probably put an
any
album
future.
out at some point.
where we get new material from the band or Axl?
Yeah,
So, Alexei, you
and
think no?
listen, and I think they probably will. I think they'll put an album out and listen, and when they do, we'll be there. I don't care what I'm doing. I will be there to review it. Yeah, probably.
I'd be surprised. I think songs,
Okay.
maybe an EP. I'd be surprised if there was another album.
So, Alexei, when you say that, you're saying Guns N' Roses or just Axl Rose?
Well, I know Guns. I reckon they'll put something out at some point.
I think Axl Rose might. I could see him in the future still like putting out some weird solo album, or something. But as a band, I think Chinese Democracy will be the last Guns N' Roses album.
Well, you know what? It wouldn't surprise me either if there was a clause in the contract for Slash or Duff saying like, "Look, we'll rejoin, but please, no more studio albums. Just fucking
Yeah, right.
For the love of God, that's just not.
But anyway,
it's too much.
As back onto Axl, like I don't think I'm as down as on him as a singer as you two. At least from our reviews of the past few albums, like it seems got to a point where you two are really just sick of his voice completely.
It's a mixed bag in my view.
Yep.
It's a mixed old bag in my view. It's not entirely negative.
It's not a mixed bag for me.
Okay.
But he still has.
Oh,
He
dear.
still has for at least in the 90s. He had like such a special voice, and he had such a funny, weird way of expressing himself that I was kind of drawn to it, and yeah, it wasn't great most of the time, but it's so disappointing the way things went and like the choices he made where the guy just needed filtering in like every sense, either his lyrics, what he was saying, or just not suffocating every single song he was on. I mean, we're going to get onto the band as a whole, but the reason that first album worked so well was it felt as though it was a group effort, and the aim was to showcase everybody involved. And then everything beyond that point, it felt as though the whole point was to showcase Axl, and then possibly moments from Slash and others. And even then, he would still throw in his moans and wails in the back. Yeah, and so much of the choices that he made straight after Appetite for Destruction made him and Guns N' Roses such a difficult band to root for. You know what I mean? Like, after what he did with GNR Lies, all the sort of like goodwill and the sort of like the feeling of trying to root for him and like, oh well, you know, maybe
goes out the window.
he's got something to say, like there are some deep cuts that could be really interesting. It just went out the window. And then everything beyond, following it up with the double albums, it was such a bad move. Well,
Terrible.
at least for us
Terrible.
to listen to right now, to go straight from GNR Lies to 2 double length albums, and the way they were awful.
Yeah,
Awful.
terrible.
And again,
Terrible.
and it's difficult to split them into Axl and Guns N' Roses, right? I'm putting them all together because it's difficult to separate them. I think Axl's insistency to include piano ballads and orchestras
Yeah.
is another huge mistake.
I got that. I said the exact same thing. I'm like, he's
Yeah.
the one that brought in the fucking orchestra. He's the one that brought in the fucking orchestra. He was the one that brought in the fucking piano. He was the one that brought in the fucking racism. He was the one that brought in the fucking homophobia. You can't dodge it. It's an excellent point. A lot of their real low moments is him. It is him.
Yeah. That's what I was saying. Like, there just needed to be somebody who's there to just be like, don't do it, man. Or this ain't it. Or we need to draw this back. Or maybe we should rethink this before putting it out. Whoever that could have been, I don't know. Whatever he needed. But since that person wasn't there,
poor Huge Tobias. That's who.
Yeah. If Huge Tobias's huge heart could have been there to smother Axl.
His huge intellect. He could get through to Axl.
But yeah, I don't have much more to say about Axl. I mean, well, we'll go into like the band as a whole and discography as a whole later. But
yes,
I still think he's an amazing talent, amazing raw talent. But beyond that, it's he's like an incredible athlete that just like has the raw talent, but yet doesn't have the focus or the coaching to hone it and to get to the top level. He's just the raw talent.
He's the Vinnie Jones of rock and roll. I'll go next because I feel like I'm somewhere in the middle, so I guess it would be going from relatively positive to mixed bag to, I assume, very negative.
Okay. From
old Dan over there.
Cranky
Dan.
So, fuck him.
You're fucking right there, mate. Take your dicks out your hands and listen. Axl, through their discography, Axl has sort of gone from, in my opinion, a pretty amazing vocalist to a pretty fucking shocking one. It's a pretty fucking bad one. GNR Lies through to even the spaghetti incident. He kind of went from an incredible high to giving me goosebumps and almost crying at Rocket Queen to me going shut the fuck up in the space of maybe an album, which is astounding, really. Like, through most of the last 4 releases, I mean, it's not to mention as well, like, the incredible fucked up shit he did at concerts. Like, he is a chode, and there's no way getting around that. That's a fact. But beyond all of that, I think musically, I agree with Alex, he's mostly to blame for their most embarrassing, boring, pretentious, and offensive moments as a band. Like I said, he brought in the piano, the orchestra, the racism, the homophobia, the embarrassingly long song lengths. Embarrassingly fucking long song lengths. I have very little doubt in my mind that the incredible lows of this band were almost entirely his fault. If you even look at our Guns N' Roses bin, where we have compiled our list of the worst Guns N' Roses songs, might as well go through it right now. 1 in a Million, Axl. Patience, we don't really know. Dust and Bones, You Ain't the First. Bad Obsession, Don't Dab Me. Dead Horse, Breakdown, Pretty Tied Up, So Fine, Estranged, Don't Cry. Since I Don't Have You, This I Love. To be fair, actually, I don't think the big Axl ballads are necessarily take up a lot of that space. But I think the ones that the direction, the general direction, which I think really, really tanked them, was the big orchestral moments and the experimentation, which was completely unnecessary. Just be a good rock band. That's all you need to do. You're great at doing that. Just do that. However, he has somehow gone up in my estimation because I actually quite respect him for Chinese Democracy. And I'll tell you why. So I watched an interview with Tommy Stinston, actually, their bass player who was on Chinese Democracy. And he said when he was asked to join, he basically heard Brain was going to be there. And he said Guns N' Roses were not my thing. I didn't really like Guns N' Roses, but I wanted to jam with Brain. So he got there, and then basically the situation gets explained to him by Axl saying, yeah, I'm the last man out. Everyone's left me with this thing. I'm stuck here. I'm the last man here. I'm the last man out. And I'm going to keep it going. I'm going to keep it going. And he said they massively respected him for that. He said there was something almost quite punk rock about it, where he was going, right, you're just going to say fuck it against all the odds, because all the odds are stacked up against him. And some people might say it like, oh, it's pathetic, it's a silly idea. But actually, I kind of respect him. I kind of respect him for going, all the odds are against me. All of them. Slash is gone. You know, like Slash is like my fucking Joe Perry, my Jimmy Page. He is gone. All these members have gone. We're left side. But you know what? I'm going to fucking stay in here and I'm going to fight and I'm going to try to prove them wrong. And I'm going to work my ass to try to prove them wrong. And I respect that. And you know what? Had it been me, let's say I'd been in Tommy Stinston's position, right? I would go, yeah, fuck it. Yeah, let's make it happen. Let's make this work. I'm like, fuck it. Yeah, why not? You know, I'd be all in. Like, I have enormous amounts of respect for him for doing that. And even though there are some really terrible, terrible moments on that album, on Chinese Democracy, there are also some brilliant moments. And he was the best he had sounded in years. And as an album, it was an exciting and engaging listen. And I was weirdly impressed by it. It's one of those special, completely insane, unique releases that could only been made by an egomaniac that had something like to prove. It's almost like outsider art, Chinese Democracy, where you're fascinated by the uniqueness of it, and even when it was terrible in a truly odd and almost impressive way. Like, I would love to own it on vinyl. Maybe I wouldn't buy it. I would not buy it, but if someone brought it for me, I'd be like, oh, no way, sick, yeah, that's hilarious, brilliant, I love this, thank you. So my respect for him has gone up, and his singing on Appetite is great. His highs on that record are amazing, like, there's no doubt about it, and his ear for hooks and ferocity and melody is incredible on that record. He can sound incredibly sleazy and crooning to, like, menacing, and also really passionate and soulful. Like, his range is undeniable, but goddamn, does he make truly terrible decisions with his voice. For most of the Illusions records, it's like he doesn't know how to sing with his voice. He doesn't know how to use it on those records. He doesn't know where to place them properly. He's got about 7 voices. I can't do them all, but I think roundabouts he's got about 7 voices. 3 of them are good. And for most of the 90s...
That's a lot.
And for most of the 90s, he seemed hell-bent on using the 4 shittest ones. And not only that, when he had the 3 good ones, he would use them in completely deranged places where it's like, no, that's not the vibe. You shouldn't be in that direction. Like, his instincts with his vocals, particularly 90s, are just straight up bad. It's a mixed one. I feel like a lot of his shitty behavior, there's grounds for defense by reason of insanity. More than someone like Paul Stanley, for example. Like, Axl Rose is clearly insane. Or at least was. I'm not excusing any of his behaviors, by the way. More explaining them. There are 100% more lows than highs. But the highs, when they are really, really good, are truly amazing. And I think, in that way, in my opinion, he is equally as polarizing a vocalist as he is a public figure. In my view. Danny!
Oh, very good, Alexei.
Yeah, it's pretty good, that, wasn't it?
I don't have nearly as much to say.
What is it?
Well, I have a bit more to say because I want to respond to your point,
sucks.
Alexei. I do not get any sense of, he's the last one there and he's just going for it and he's pushing on and being determined. I see a guy, it looks much more to me like a guy who's pushed everyone around him away from him.
No, there's
and is
that
now
as well.
so shocked and upset and is going, where did they all go? They left me and I'm the last one here.
No, it's that as well. It's more
right.
it's
There's
more
a reason they all left.
Yeah, it's more of a. I'm trying to think of a way to describe it. It's more of like a Howard Hawks kind of thing. You know, locking himself away, working on his that sort of deranged perfectionist sort of vibe of him, which I do respect. Like, and I respect that, and I respect the fact that he was like willing to sort of, despite in the face of all the odds being stacked against him, was willing to carry on. I do respect that. Sorry, carry on. I've spoken enough, mate. I've talked enough.
Okay, well, I can. Fair enough.
Yeah. But one more thing.
Okay,
One more thing.
I'll go from where I was going to start. Okay.
So I'm joking. No, you can't.
I'm going to start by talking about Paul Stanley and how,
Oh.
through learning more about
That's a curveball.
what I learned that I really, from his own words, as I've said before in his own biography, I do not like him. He seems like a very unlikable man through things that he decided to say. However, he can sing incredibly well, and he's written some very good songs that I like a lot. Axl, right, we know he seems to like he's quite an unlikable guy, to put it lightly. I don't think he's a singer that I think is incredible. So all he's got are a handful of songs that I like. So it is less for me. I'm not a fan of Axl Rose. To look at it through a positive light, he was still obviously a big part of Appetite, and I'll talk more about that album in the conclusion. But yeah, of course he needs some level of credit for that. Especially his vocals at like Sweet Child of Mine. But really, like everything you guys said is right about like, you know, he's the one seemingly who pushed for a lot of the awfulness in the direction that the band went afterwards. I don't have this immense respect for him for Chinese Democracy. I think it's a fun story, and I'm glad we got the album. So I suppose a vague respect in that way, but I mean, if that's respect, then I have a lot of respect for a lot of people, because a lot of people have made albums that I'm glad are out. That's it. He just finished an album that I was happy to listen to. So overall, I've already said it, I'm not a fan of Axl Rose, and it comes down to the difference is, it sounds like between me and you guys, is that I never really clicked with his vocals. It's not a style I like. It's, of course, he can hit high notes and stuff, and he can manipulate his voice and make it sound like lots of different things, but it's just rarely a sound that I like. Very rarely. It's grating. The turning point for me was you could be mine, you should be mine.
You could be
you know that
mine.
one. Yeah. And it's just the sort of he's just like an annoying fly hovering over the track to me. It's
I
this
fucking love that
sound that I found so annoying throughout their whole discography. And I just wish there were more. I like you start to use annoying like tone descriptive words. Like I like thick and round, raspy voices. Usually in this sort of style, and I don't think he's got that. He could rasp a bit, but it's always thin. His voice is almost always thin for me. It's only not thin when he goes very low and does the sort of it's so easy. And that's like a cartoon voice. I'm not a fan of Axl Rose. We can move on.
Wow.
Oh, Danny, that was horrible.
Well, I don't mind saying it because he clearly seems like a bit of a knob. That seems to be quite a well-held opinion by lots of people.
More money than you.
No, he hasn't.
Stop it. No, he's not. He's not richer than me. Right. The best Guns N' Roses songs. Let's get to it. So we're going to go through every album one
Can
time.
I ask? Sorry.
Shut
Alexei, can I ask Danny something about that?
Shut up!
Danny,
Did anyone have Welcome to the Jungle?
In your like description of Axl Rose's voice, do you feel a similar way to now I've forgotten the name, the singer of AC/DC? Because to me, like they hold similar like ranges, not ranges, but like they hold the same place in a rock song. You know what I mean?
Are you
like where they
Bon
float on the
Scott?
song.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
I know what you're saying. It's very high and it's thin, but I would say that both singers of AC/DC have. Again, I've got to use an annoying like descriptive word. Like they're both more. They're more raspy. I'll just say raspy, right? There's more. They're more distorted, and so the note. Yeah, they're more percussive, I'd say, as voices, and more interesting to me. I'm not going to defend them too much, but they're still singers I prefer to both of them. But I think both of them, also maybe to do with the style of music, it's much more stripped back, AC/DC's music, and I do think it fits better.
I personally
I
would
much
take
prefer those two
Axl
as vocalists.
over the AC/DC in terms of singing, personally. Okay.
Maybe if we did this for AC/DC, maybe I'd start to, get sick of those voices. But I don't think so. Especially, who's the second one? Brian Johnston.
Brian Johnson, yeah.
Yeah, his is less distinctive to me. His is more of just a high-pitched rock voice. Bon Scott, his is very distinctive. So that way, I don't even know which one I prefer. We'll talk about that when we do AC/DC.
We're not going to do AC/DC. I'd go fucking mental if we did AC/DC. I'd lose my fucking mind. Fucking hell. Fucking weird. That's an
Sorry,
insane
Alexei. You go on.
Every AC/DC album. There's like 50 of them, and they all fucking sound the same. Right. Best Guns N' Roses songs. Let's go. Has anyone got anything off Appetite for Destruction? No? Well, then we can move on.
How many songs do you think I have of Appetite for Destruction?
I think you have 4 or 5, or they're all, I don't know, 5, 6?
4 or 5?
7. I think
Alexei,
7.
I've got 8 songs.
Alright, oh, right, so you... I take it you don't think much of their other material then.
It was almost 9.
I take it you're not a fan of the usual releases. No, that's fair enough. I know what you mean. I tried to get more of an even spread. But talk to me. Okay, you better off. Okay, best off. You be better off reading out which ones you got, and we'll tell you whether we got the same.
Okay.
Yeah.
I put on Welcome to the Jungle.
I did not put that.
Nothing. Oh, neither of you, Alex?
I've got Welcome to the Jungle, yeah. Sorry.
Okay.
You know what?
Welcome to the Jungle, yeah.
I probably should have put that rather than. You know what? I'm changing mine. I'm changing mine, right? So I've got title track from Chinese Democracy. I'm gonna take that one out. That's going out. And I'm gonna put Welcome to. But you can't do that.
Should have kept that to yourself.
Best leave it to yourself.
I'm gonna put Welcome to the Jungle in because you know what? Put those two songs next. You put those 2 songs next to each other, and it's like Welcome to the Jungle. Like it's just been there at so many parts of my life, and it is pretty unfucking deniable. Yeah. Okay. Well. Yeah. Okay. So I've got that as well. Yeah. All 3. We have it.
Yeah.
Cool.
All 3. It's so easy.
No, did not have that.
No.
It's got a funny voice. I like it. Night Train. Just
No,
every
don't
track
have Night.
so far.
No.
Just get me track on the map. Nah, I don't have Night Train.
I like the chorus. It's a good chorus.
No, I like. It's okay.
Skipped a track to Mr. Brownstone.
I have Mr. Brownstone. Heavy. If we were if this was in some sort of order, that would be top 5, 100%. Love that song. Great song.
That's number 2. If this isn't an order for me, that's easily number 2.
Great song.
I love Mr. Brownstone. That's a sick track. And why I have to say things like, give credit to Axl where it's due. He's killing it on that song.
He sounds great. Sounds fantastic.
Yeah. The Paradise City.
Yeah.
I got Paradise City. Yeah.
Of course.
Oh, all 3. There we go. I was mean to it when we discussed
I thought you said that song was really
on the
fucking
podcast,
lame.
but-
Yeah, I was about to say you were like, this is a lame song for lame people.
The
You
lyrics.
changed your fucking
The
tune.
lyrics are lame.
Yeah.
The lyrics are lame, man. And in a way, yeah, if I focus too much on that, the song becomes very lame. But the solo at the end's really good, and it is
riff's
catchy.
good. Yeah. Moving on. What you got next?
Oh my
I put
god,
on
take forever.
Think about you.
Oh, really?
Think about you.
Think about you, really?
Yeah, see.
I don't even remember. I don't remember what I said in the podcast about this, but on re-listens, it sort of reawoken a sort of suppressed nostalgia, repressed nostalgia in me I suddenly remembered that song more and sitting in my room when I was much younger.
It's all right.
So yeah,
It's pretty good, that one.
you guys did put on My Michelle, right? Because I skipped that one.
No, we
Oh, I
got
did.
that. Well,
I
I
did,
definitely did. Fucking love that
Yeah.
song. Again, top 5. Top
you
5, that would be for me. Top 5, that would be for me.
skipped that one.
Fucking love that song.
My
That song
Michelle
is so
rocks, man.
aggressive
It's so good.
and cool. Yeah. That's one of Axl's
man, we
best.
did not agree on
Easily
this.
one of Axl's best performances on that. He sounds mental. He sounds
Sweet
like
Child
he's
of
gonna-
Mine?
He sounds like he's gonna pour
Oh, yeah.
bees up my arse. Sweet Child of Mine is definitely up there. Yeah, that's on mine.
That's number 1 for me, if it's in an order.
Oh,
And I skipped the next
that's
two
an
tracks and
original
put on
pick.
Rocket Queen.
Oh, I agree. Yeah, Rocket Queen, definitely. 100%.
That's like
110%. In fact, Rocket Queen for me is number 1. Definitively number 1 for me. Alex, you got Rocket Queen?
No, I don't have Rocket Queen.
What?
Okay, so that's
Oh.
my 8 tracks
How worrying.
from Appetite.
Axl, I was going to call... Axl! Alex. Shit, I nearly called you Axl. God, Freudian slip there. What have you got? What have you got? Any that Danny was missing there?
No, I kind of... I don't know for what purpose, really, but I kind of told myself not to just choose everything off Appetite, so I kind of limited myself a bit. So I just chose 4 songs.
I kind of did as well. Yeah, I kind of did as well.
Yeah, so yeah, no, I chose Welcome to the Jungle, Paradise City, Sweet Child of Mine, and My Michelle. Those 4.
Yeah, cool. Next album. Do we have anything of Use Your Illusions 1? No, of course not. Right. Do we have anything of GNR Lies? No, absolutely not. Of course not. Now, do we have anything of Use Your Illusions 2? I do. I was
do too.
tempted to put Knocking on Heaven's Door as a joke because I found it that hilarious, but I did not do it. I saved that for another one that I thought was funny, and instead I went with You Could Be Mine. You Could Be Mine is a great track. Love You Could Be Mine. Alex, what did you have off Use Your Illusions 1?
I also had You Could Be Mine.
Good.
Just a straightforward banger. Really enjoyed it. And
Absolute
on repeat
bangers,
listens,
yeah.
I would really enjoy it. I also put this one's strange. I also put Yesterdays. That one grew on me.
What?
As well.
Fuck off. Fucking terrible. I think I nominated that one for the bin. Fucking terrible.
No, I like that one. It's
Thanks.
a simple one, but it hit the nail on the head for that one. Me. And also Getting a Ring, of course, which you guys know.
Oh, you
I
fucking
knew you'd
good.
put that
Get-
on, man.
kick-
On
kick him off the
repeat
fucking
lessons.
call. Kick him off the fucking call. Fuck off. Fucking Jesus Christ.
ring. Get in the ring. Get in the ring.
On repeat listens, because
Of pain.
like I'll go back to being like, well, those guys really didn't like it. Maybe I should go back and what do I like about it? But it slaps, man. I think that's like that has been like the song I've discovered from this experience where I'm like, man, like they had some in there. They should have just been assholes the whole time. They shouldn't have tried to sing about love and all this stuff. They should have just sung about what freaking dicks they are and just freaking done some sick ass little pop punk little riffs and solos.
Right.
Would have been awesome.
Alex, we're good friends, right? I've known you for many years, and I think you're a really good guy. Yeah. And I think that
Thanks, man.
you're a smart guy as well. But if you like that song, you're a fucking loser. Right, let's move on. So we're moving on to the. So we're moving on to the spaghetti incident. Nothing. I mean, no.
Nothing.
I mean, nothing. Nothing really. I mean, because at the best, fine. Really, that record at the very top end of it, quality wise, fine. But you can't really justify putting any. You know what I fucking mean, right? So, moving on to Chinese Democracy. I have 2. I was originally going to have 3, but I put 2. I put 2 in, yeah.
I have
Would
2.
you Cool. Would you like to? Would you take me, Danny?
Be gentle.
I put
I'm
on the
a
title track.
virgin.
I put on Chinese Democracy.
Really?
Yeah.
Don't even matter. Wait a minute.
It has some
Your
energy to it.
girlfriend's Chinese? Is that why?
Swear to fucking God.
That makes sense now. Because if I had a girlfriend that was Chinese, I would probably do the same thing. Out of respect for her and our relationship.
Carry on. Do you have anything more you want to say about that banger? Great song. I agree. I really like
No,
that one.
I liked it. Yeah, it was finally sort of something that I was kind of into, and
Yeah.
the two that I've put on from Chinese Democracy, it's not a coincidence that they both have like brutal face melting solos from presumably Buckethead, because the other one is IRS, which I thought had a good chorus
Really?
too.
IRS?
Catchy
Yeah, I
chorus.
enjoyed.
Oh, man.
I liked IRS.
Yeah.
I liked IRS. I agree. I thought that was a good one. I put now this is a curveball. I put Riyadh and the Bedouins. I really like that song. I think that's fantastic. That song, really enjoyed that. And
That's one of the better ones. Yeah.
yeah, and also Scraped because he goes, "Come on and break through," and I just find that so funny. I was in France with my son, and we were going through a maze. And as we were going through the maze, I kept going, "Come on and break through!" He kept going, "Dad, shut up!" So, I mean that yeah. Ironic that it's called Scraped when it only scraped into my list because I find it quite humorous.
We've all gone for
that's
very
us.
different songs. I would never have
Very
guessed you guys
different.
had chosen IRS and Scraped.
That's
Good songs, man.
yeah, crazy. That's us.
No,
that's the beauty
okay.
of
Disagree.
doing something like this is that music is so subjective and people can have their own ideas. Art isn't objective. Bar our list, that is objective. That is concrete.
I
That's
chose
of
two from Chinese Democracy, but I went for Better and There Was a Time. Which is like
sorry,
kinda like the two,
sorry.
like-
I missed one.
Really?
yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I missed one. I realized I missed one. But sorry. I'll tell you. So you did If There Was a Time. Was that just because of the sheer fucking bigness of it?
Yeah, yeah. They I think they got it almost right with that one. Like what they were going for, like they did well with it. Like just the epic scale, just get bigger, louder, just
Yeah.
it
is enormous. Also, Buckethead. Buckethead's absolutely.
yeah,
tears
it's
it
an
up
awesome solo
on
on
that
that
song.
one. Awesome.
Yeah.
awesome.
What was the other one? Sorry. What was the other one you put? Better.
Better. Yeah.
Better's great as well. Better is good. I think Chinese Democracy's got some really real good moments on it. It really does. The one I forgot about was Shackler's Revenge. That is also on my list. I like Shackler's Revenge a lot. I got quite a lot of weird nostalgia for that song. I like that one. The worst Guns N' Roses song. Now, it's kind of by default that this has to be
yeah,
the worst
I didn't
song.
think much beyond
That
it.
you
beyond
can't.
It, so.
I mean, I was almost tempted to message you both and say, "Look, let's say that is that's obvious. That is the worst."
Yeah, maybe
That
we
is the
should
worst
do
song.
1 in a Million
Maybe-
presents the Guns N' Roses worst song. You know what I mean?
Sponsored by 1 in a Million. 1 in a Million is obviously the worst Guns N' Roses song. There's no getting around it. But it is basically, it has to be. It has to be. And nothing really comes close. I mean, that's it, right? There's no getting around it.
Yeah, I didn't think about any other songs.
You can't.
Yeah,
You
it's in
can't.
such a category of its own that, like, it seems silly to sort of consider any others. Like I said, I think like that song in particular, just like it changes the way you look at Axl and the band. Like that one song did so much damage, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, no, 100%. It's amazing.
And then
all the
also it's a
goodwill you
shitty
might-
song on top of that, you know.
Yeah. All the goodwill you had for them for Appetite is just completely gone. And it takes them into such... It's not like...
you know, when bands make really bizarre artistic choices, like Kiss doing a concept album or something like that, or like Celtic Frost selling out and doing a hair metal album or something like that. It just takes them to such nasty, vile places that I just don't want anything. Just don't. I don't even really want to talk about it anymore. We spoke enough about it. Ridiculous, vile, and should have been career suicide. I can't believe it wasn't. We agreed?
We agree.
We agreed. Out of curiosity, obviously nothing really can come close because it's another realm of bad, really. 1 in a million. It taps into something else. But if you were to pick maybe another one, a number 2, because, again, this is really just one because it has to, you know. Alex, why don't you take us away then, mate?
No, I can go. It is really hard because of these selections that we put in the bin, like some of them, you know, were irritating just for like the length and just how obnoxious it was. Something like Breakdown or Estranged.
Estranged is very bad. Yeah, that's very bad.
But they were bad in just this sort of like this. It's just going on, and you don't know where it's going, and it's just so egotistical and whatever. So those are bad songs. Then you also got the ones that just felt like the complete opposite of where we wanted Guns N' Roses to go. The one that keeps standing out to me is Pretty Tied Up, where just
yes. I was about to say that. Pretty tied up on the compound. Yeah. That was just so far from where I was like this, you know, from being cool.
And
like
so songs like that and Patience, where I'm just like maybe it's not as bad a song as maybe Breakdown was.
Patience is just super boring.
But it was so bewildering in a different way that part of me wants to put that forward. So yeah, there's lots of things to consider, but I would say if I had to choose number 2, it might be Pretty Tied Up, or maybe So Fine. So Fine also sticks out to me as just being
terrible.
Like
So Fine is rubbish.
every time.
Yeah. It's so fine. You've been so fine. I'll take up a star and I'll give it to you. Shut the fuck up, fucking dumbass. Fucking
So yeah,
doofus.
I don't know.
Shut the fuck up. Yeah, it's hard. You know, it's amazing. You look at this list and just 1 in a million just casts such a fucking shadow over the rest of them. It's not even close. Not even fucking close at all. It just sticks out. Like, Danny, have you got a one that you would maybe nominate as maybe a number 2, second worst, or something that you think sticks out as being particularly
No,
bad?
I didn't think about that, and I'm looking at the bin, and I don't remember any of these songs.
I think a lot of them occupy the same sort of space of bad. Do you know what I mean? They occupy a very similar level of very, very bad. I'd say Estranged, just because it's so dull. Anyway, let's move the fuck on to what we think of Guns N' Roses as a band. Danny, why don't you start us off with this one?
I was too harsh on Appetite. I think when we do this podcast, even without trying, sometimes I lead into sort of the fun of the conversation. And if you two are really praising something for the sake of conversation, I might lead in the other direction.
Well, that's shit.
It's a really good album.
Stop doing
It's an album
that.
that I have a lot of nostalgia for. Sorry?
I said, that's really shit. Stop doing that. That stops today. If you go in with that sort of attitude into Van fucking Halen or the Vinnie Vincent Invasion, we'll fucking find someone else.
Yeah, so anyway, so when it comes to Guns N' Roses, I do feel like that at the end of this, it is a bit of a shame that I kind of like them less now than when we began this. Because when we began, all I knew was Appetite, and that's an album I like. And even re-listening to Appetite for this, again, I wasn't completely just doing it for the second conversation. A lot of re-listening to that album was a bit like, nah, it's not as great as I remember. But still, I have a lot of nostalgia for it. But hearing everything after that, has been just not a fun experience. To focus on the positive, I think I said on the episode, for a short period of time, that was straight up one of my favorite albums ever.
Yeah, definitely.
When I was much younger. Like, top 5. And I guess it's still pretty up there as far as 80s albums goes, and that deserves praise. If I was to make a list of 80s albums, I think it would be easily top 50. I don't know how high it would get.
Top 50? What?
It's got...
We've talked about 80s albums.
There's not that many good albums in the 80s, man.
No,
There's shitloads of good albums
okay.
from the 80s. Fucking shitloads. Carry on anyway.
Okay, sorry, I'm thinking about... okay.
Oh, wait, Alex, you saying like it should definitely be top 10? Is that your point?
Well, we've had conversations
so
about the 80s.
Oh, I know what you're saying, yeah.
Okay. Anyway, go on. It's a separate point.
It's got these great and incredibly high energy songs, and especially in regards to my own taste, phenomenal guitar work. Like, I know I said so much about it on that episode, but I just think the guitar work, especially on Sweet Child of Mine, that's such an influential guitar solo for me.
And the rhythm guitar work as well. Just the guitar parts in general, how they interweave.
Yeah, all of it. It's a great song.
It's really brilliant. No, just on all the tracks, the guitar work, just the way they duck and weave in and out of each other. It's really, really thoughtful.
Not on all the tracks, but yeah, a lot of them. Yeah. And there's less of that guitar work that I'd have liked. That's part of one of the main things we were criticizing a lot of the stuff that came after 4. But the highs are so high. I have great memories of listening to that album at home, and it makes me think of Alexei now, which is sweet.
Thanks, man.
Especially Rocket Queen. That is just an Alexei song in my head. I think it's also... it's an interesting and short-lived, weird tangent in rock history. Like, they're quite oddly placed. I think that's often mentioned, right? How they sort of came at the end of hair metal just before grunge, and rock was a bit directionless, but they seemed quite confident in what they were doing. I think it's interesting to talk about that. Beyond that, all I can really say is there are some good things about Chinese democracy, mostly to do with, just these session musicians, and frankly, Buckethead. It just very quickly just feels like I'm barely talking about Guns N' Roses anymore when I start to praise that album. Because I love Buckethead, and I like some of the performances on that album. The string of really disappointing albums is, that really influences how I feel about the band. And even more disappointing, this isn't something we've said as much, is how I've been a bit struck by how uninterested I've been in the behind-the-scenes stuff. I think Kiss spoiled me. Because all I've got is this sort of, quote, crazy kind of old stories of rock and roll, and like, I've just not grown. Maybe it's about the time as well. I've not grown to love these personalities in the way that I did Kiss, or find them hilarious in the way that I did Kiss. I think I either don't know much about them, or it's someone like Axl, who I don't find him that funny when I hear his story. I just think, oh, that seems like that didn't sound very nice, or whatever. I think.
Can I just put something on that? In the Kiss story, you've got like Paul Stanley complaining about how Vinnie Vincent ruined a beef stew they were all sharing at a gig in Moscow.
That's
or whatever it was. And that is missing. You don't have that in the Guns story. You just don't have shit like that.
Don't.
It's a lot more the classic kind of sex, drugs, and rock and roll story. Kiss is kind of the opposite.
That's what I mean, yeah.
Kiss is kind of the opposite of that. It's stories like that, these weird, petty, bizarre little anecdotes. Like Peter with his music stand, or like, Vinny in the beef stew and the flavorful broth, nice and warming. Num, 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 num. It's lacking that.
Yes, I agree. So just to finish, the fact is that seemingly, at least from what I've heard, I don't find them to be very interesting people. And the majority of their studio output is simply not music I like very much, if at all. I said a similar thing with Kiss, where I was like, we have to remember they're known as being a live band, and we're not covering that. I'm sure that's a whole other thing. Especially back in the day, maybe that was amazing. But, to conclude, like Kiss, I want to focus on positive. they gave me some songs, 2 or 3 in particular, that I love. I really love those songs, and that's a thumbs up from me, really. I'm glad they did that. So I'll end on a positive. Just to focus on that, that's great. They gave me some songs that I love. And that's what I think of Guns N' Roses. Alex, do you want to go next?
Alex, talk to me.
Sure. Yeah. When we spoke about appetite, I said how, like, if you were to choose one rock album,
Aphrodite of Destruction.
the Aphrodite of Destruction, that someone should make that. That sounds awesome. Yeah. If you were going to choose, like, one rock album for somebody to listen to, like, if I described it in, like, the rock web, and you had, like, one album in the center, for me, it would be Appetite for Destruction. Like, it is just, like, the best rock music ever. Like, just so much of what rock music is, or at least hard rock, like, compressed into one album. And then from there, you can go off in all sorts of directions. And I still believe that. And in the same vein, Guns N' Roses is sort of like this capsule of, like, the rock and roll band. In the sense of, like, the sort of the huge highs, you know, the amazing talent, and bit by bit, through ego and glutton, it all just comes crumbling down. And the one time, like heartthrob singer is now a joke to the world, sort of thing. Like,
complete joke. Yeah,
it has been amazing over this journey to, like, see that happen in a way that was very different with Kiss. With Kiss, like, from the get-go, at least for Rose, like, we felt they were kind of a joke. And, you know, they made all these fumbles that were just, like, either petty or desperate. Yeah. And it was a very different.
It sounds
sort of
weird
feeling.
to say. It sounds weird to say, but Kiss always been the underdog in a weird way. They would probably hate that.
Yeah.
Weird. They always been struggling, or, like, you know, they give the impression, oh, these massive bad. But there wasn't, like, they never had that moment that anywhere near the sort of rise that Guns had. Them at their biggest, I don't think was even a fraction as big as Guns N' Roses.
Yeah, and I'm glad that Danny brought up a comparison earlier between Paul Stanley and Axl Rose, because, like, I kind of wanted to bring up, like, comparing Guns N' Roses and Kiss, because it's so interesting how differently we talk about them. And really, well, at least from my view, when we did Kiss had one really good album, and then a lot of crap with maybe a few nice, good songs sprinkled in somewhere. And Guns N' Roses also have one really good album with some not good albums, and in my opinion, a handful of decent ones, or, like, ones I don't mind listening to. But yet, it seems like night and day in, like, how I see the bands and like the disappointment I feel with Guns N' Roses. That might be just because of that, like I described earlier, that raw talent and potential that they had from the beginning. While with Guns N' Roses, it was much more of a workman sort of, like, well, we're just trying our best with what we got, sort of thing. Which, again, ridiculous to say for, like, Paul Stanley. So yeah, I thought that was very interesting, and sort of looking back at these bands, and it's interesting to see how momentum, perception, like, timing plays a big part in this. I think you two would disagree with me here, but I think if after Appetite, you know, we erase GNR Lies, or at least we erase 1 in a Million out of the equation, because obviously that did a lot of damage. I think if they did the Use Your Illusion sessions in a different manner, maybe if they brought out one album which was like here's our go at classic rock sort of style, and, you know, slowing things down, and it's a bit more mid-tempo, whatever. Here, you know, that's that one album where we're getting that out of system. And then here's our album of our, like, sort of, whatever, proggy, like, out there, sort of epic stuff. I think it would have been way more palatable. I'm not saying release them at the same time as a double album. I'm saying just like maybe 1 year they did one, released one, and 1 year they did another. I really wonder how that would have, if that would have changed the perception of the band. Because even though like I look at them, the song's not great. The way we had to listen to them, or anybody had to listen to them, of just back to back, this weird half and half sort of way where they'll do these 8-minute long songs where it's, you know, it's trying to be all epic and orchestral and like so dramatic. And then we have the like the sort of bluesy saloon rock sort of thing. Like going back and forth, that was so exhausting. And I was quite positive around Axl, but like I completely understand you guys just being like, Jesus Christ, guys, shut the fuck up, because of the way they sequenced those albums, and it was 2 double albums back to back to back. Like to me, the GNR Lies stuff and then releasing Use Your Illusion in that manner killed the band. Like that was the decision. It was clear they all got burnt out. Axl felt as though he had to do it and took way too much control of everything. And it really just killed all the momentum from the band. And I do wonder what, like, of the alternate universe where things could have been different. That, oh, well, you know, they tried something different, didn't work out. But, you know, they went back to, like, straight hard rock in the late 90s sort of thing. They didn't just completely burn themselves out. It's been a really interesting listen. I agree a lot with Danny in the sense of just they still, no matter all of this, they still hold like a special place. Like throughout all of this, when I hear like, you know, Sweet Child of Mine or Paradise City, Welcome to the Jungle, I'm not going to be like, oh, well, but, you know, did you hear the spaghetti incident? That's a bit of a mess. Like, I'm still going to be like, these are amazing songs. And I don't think that's ever going to really be taken away.
It's Guns N' Roses, isn't it? It's Guns N' Roses at the end of the day, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what to say. It's a bit of a weird one. It's been a very interesting sort of like project. Listen to all of this. But yeah, Alexei, you go on next.
Yeah. So, what Danny said, Danny made a point about how the story maybe isn't so interesting, but which is true. Well, I mean, it's interesting in a different way. But what is interesting, and I genuinely do think, is what I found quite enjoyable, or at least interesting, about doing this little exercise into listening to their entire discography, is how crazy their discography really truly is. So you've got one of the greatest debut albums of all time, one of the greatest metal records of all time, one of the greatest albums of all time, you know, broadly speaking, in the perception of the general public. And then you've got an EP of mostly acoustic music and live songs, and one song which is bordering on a Nazi punk song. Do you know what I mean? And then you've got 2 fucking double albums. 2 fucking double albums back to back that have orchestras on them, and you know, fucking banjos and pianos and fucking backing singers, or you know, all this shit. And then you've got a covers album of like quite obscure punk songs for the most part. You know, like Sex Pistols B-sides and a mashup between T-Rex and Soundgarden on it. And then you've got Chinese fucking Democracy, which is just a fucking spectacle in itself. So, in terms of a discography, it really is really crazy and unconventional and not a linear sort of trajectory that you would expect. And it is testament, and I keep saying this, to how big and culturally significant Appetite for Destruction was, that every single one of those albums, you know, an EP with acoustic stuff, live stuff, and some incredibly racist sentiments on it, a covers album, 2 double live albums, could all get into the top 5 off the strength of that first record, and Chinese Democracy, all get into the top 5.
Yeah.
Like, the fact that they made those really unconventional records that managed to do that goes to show just how strong Appetite really was. And Appetite is a fucking great record. It's a really, really good record. It's 5 musicians, and the chemistry is just clearly, like, undeniable. Like, I was listening to stories about how they would just spend, like, weeks on end together, and they would just practice, like, 6 hours a day, just working on parts. Just working on parts, where this bit's going to go. Where's this bit's going? And that attention to detail really, really, really shows. But again, that chemistry and that rawness is never taken away. There's this kind of, you know, there's this, you know, pedanticness to it, but it's also quite raw and quite loose at the same time, which is really, really special. It's a shame that even though our ranking is quite unexciting in the sense that Appetite is number 1, because of course, you know, it has to be number 1. It has to be. There's no way. But I'm glad as well that we threw a curveball in there with Chinese Democracy at number 2 and Spaghetti Incident at number 3. That has surprised me. That has surprised me. And I'm glad that we did that. I mean, I think Guns is the typical story of failing to truly follow up to a great debut, simply because of how big that debut was. I think it cast such a shadow that they were consistently kept overreaching and overreaching. And they couldn't do it. They just could not bury it. The expectations were too high. I mean, I would have loved to have had an Appetite Part 2. Never got it. Never, ever got an Appetite Part 2. But, obviously, that, you know... But, in many ways, not having an Appetite Part 2 makes the actual Appetite much more special as a result. Because it's you know, it's like, it's going to sound so lame. But it's the only analogy I can think of. It's like a shooting star. Like, it comes and it goes, and it's not, and there's nothing else like it. You know, it's like, you get what I mean. You know,
shooting
there won't
star,
be one
like
after
Axl's face on it.
Through the sky.
A Halloween tree. I'll be asking about that next year.
It's an incredibly special record, and its cultural significance cannot be like understated. And through this journey, it has to come down to it that when people say it's just Appetite, they are about, I agree with about 80% of that. It is just Appetite. It really, really is. And then I'd say there's some bits of Chinese Democracy that I think are pretty good, that I think are really good. Other than that, everything in between, pretty much. I don't really count the Spaghetti Incidents in that because I think covers are fine. These covers, for the most part, are fine. You know, but in terms of original material, everything in between is really bad. Like, is just straight up really, 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 really bad. I did not get to a song that I liked from Rocket Queen till we got to You Could Be Mine, which was on the tail end of Use Your Illusions 2. You know, it's not good batting average. It's a terrible batting average. But kind of similar to what Alex said, it is Guns N' Roses, and they do hold a special place in my heart because I loved Appetite. And I've enjoyed doing this. I think when people shit on a band, you know, they're not in the position where they go like, well, I've heard all of it, and I've heard all of it, and I can tell you actually, they've got their moments. I had a friend of ours say that with Kiss, and I was like, you know what, Kiss have their moments. Guns, can't say that as much, but I would say, like, go listen to a bit of Chinese Democracy. There's some good shit on there. And that's it. All in all, my conclusion, there's some good shit on Chinese Democracy, and Appetite's really good. How do we end this? Do we sing? Should we sing 1 in a Million?
Gotta say.
What do we sing?
What we gotta sing? Chinese? No, I was
We
gonna say
could
Chinese
just-
democracy.
We could
Could
just
we
all
sing
go.
our
Come on,
favourite Green Day
break
song?
through. Yeah, let's do a Green Day song.
Okay.
We all just sing one
Okay.
each. All just sing one each. Different ones. All right, in 3, 2,
Okay.
1, go. I walk
Do
this
you have
lonely
the
road,
time
the only
to
road that
listen
I
to
have
me?
ever known. And the city sleeps, and I'm the only one, and I walk alone.
the dawning of the rest of our love.
When I come around.